So we had a 40+ degree day yesterday. It's a lot cooler today, and tomorrow is going to be another scorcher. And I was wearing this smock dress, and I realized it's very, very light material, like this material I have here that's Christmassy. So I thought, why not make another one that I can wear during the shocking days of our December in Australia.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
So a smock dress is basically a loose fitting dress, and what you're going to want to do is measure the biggest parts of you, so around your bust, your waist and your hips, and you're going to want it sort of in a triangle shape so it's loose, right? So the measurements will be whatever your measurements are and however long you want it. So what I'm going to do to cheat, I am going to copy this pattern. So first things first, lay out my fabric and place the dress on top. Now you're going to make two sides, so you can fold your material over. I'll figure out the sleeves later, or the straps. So for now, just lay it on there flat. This dress has a little pleated section. I'm just going to fold that out of the way for now. Now that it's pinned, we're going to cut across the two folds of fabric, leaving a seam allowance so we can sew it up later. Alright, now that this is done, I'm going to take all the pins out and hem the edges, just so it's a bit neater. Alright, now that we've hemmed all of the sides, I'm just going to sew together the two pieces down one side, right sides together. Rather than doing both sides now, it would make it easier to add the gathered ruffly bit at the end. Alright, so now that that's done, this is how wide it is. It'll be like this. We have to measure how long the bottom edge is, so we know how much material we need for the little gather. So we measure that out. And for my dress, in my size, that's 45 inches. So I'm going to want at least another half of that, just to give it a bit of a gather. If you want more gather, you can double it, and so on. Now the dress, the length of the gather, we're going to have to measure too. So that is 6 inches. Now I might have it a little bit longer because this one's quite short. So let's cut some fabric. So I didn't have material long enough, so I've cut strips from a couple pieces and I'm going to sew them all together. I'm also going to hem them now because it'll be easier than trying to hem it when it's got the ruffles in there. Alright, so to make our little ruffles, we're going to go on a straight stitch, get a longer stitch length, and also make the tension really, really loose. So you can see naturally there's become a bit of a ruffle. So when you finish, you don't want a little knot at the end. So what you're going to do is you give it a lot of thread, because we're going to be using that to pull. And to make it even more ruffled, we're going to put it through again and do the exact same thing. So there'll be two lines with a really loose tension and really long stitch length. And when putting it through a second time, don't hold tight because then you've just ruined all of the little ruffles you've made. So just sort of let it go in. Just guide it. Alright, so you'll notice on either side there's these loose threads. We're going to pull on them. You pull on the back one that's for the tension, and you can see it starts to ruffle up. And basically I'm going to do this to shorten this whole length up to the measurement of the bottom of the dress, which for me was the 45 inches. Okay, so the ruffled strip is now at the 46 inches. So I'm going to put the bottom of the dress in the sewing machine as well as the ruffle with the right sides together. And you're gonna want to do it with a zigzag stitch, and be very careful not to spread out these ruffles. Sewing the ruffle onto the dress is going to be a lot easier if you use pins. Just go real slowly and don't pull on the thread. So this is the ruffle from the back and from the front. Now we're going to sew the other side of the dress together. So it'll be right sides together. Sew it all the way down the side and the ruffle side as well. Now time for the sleeves. You can measure manually how long you want the sleeves to be. But for me to take the easy way out, I'm just going to measure how long the sleeves on this dress are. Almost 14 inches. So I'll make it 14 so I can have a seam allowance. So I'll measure out a piece that's 14 inches, cut it here, and then cut it in half here. So we have 2 strips. So we have our 2 straps. Now to make this strap nice and sturdy, what we're going to do is fold it in half. You can iron or just use your thumb like that. Now open it again and fold each side into that center line that we just made. Using pins will help it stay, but who's got time for that? So it should look something like this, and now we fold it in half again, so it will look like this, and we're going to stitch on either side just to make it nice and sturdy and neat. Now you just pin where you want your straps to be. Remember, sticking them to the inside, and then we sew. And finished. A cute little smock dress. Super breezy and real easy. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.